the thing that you're most sure you're not projecting, that's the thing you're projecting. The thing that you're most sure, that's not me. I would never, ever, ever. Because what we do is the things that we reject inside of ourselves, we project. If we can't tolerate it as part of who we are, then we paint it on the walls so that we can be like, no, not that. No, not that. I would never. And it relieves tension, because otherwise we're just doing that internally. No, I can't be that. No, I would never. If we do bring that inward, we see like, oh, I'm the asshole. I would do that if I wasn't controlling myself every second of the day. I would do that. I do have that in me. When we are able to bring it in, you get a lot more chill about everybody else's behavior. You get a lot more like permissive of people being human, and it stops affecting you. And then it's actually a lot easier to navigate your way away from things that you're not into, because it's preference versus being in this kind of tension of dynamic of like, no, which actually just, it builds your relationship with it. When you have a strong resistance to something, it builds your relationship to it. So this kind of internal resistance becomes a projection, and then you get to resist it externally. But if you can bring it in, own that it is part of who you are, then you have freedom. That kind of relationship gives you choice. You no longer have to stay in relationship. You've accepted that that's part of who you are. Yeah, it just gives you so much freedom around like that there's just all kinds out in the world, and that all kinds of things are happening, and it doesn't have to ruin your day. It doesn't have to ruin your year. It makes me think about this, about something I heard in one of Pema Chodron's teachings. It was a teaching on Tonglen, which is just a beautiful practice. The practice is acknowledging if you're having a point of suffering inside yourself, acknowledging where this might live in other people or in the world, and then bringing that into your body, receiving that with your in-breath, and then exhaling compassion. And she was talking about how there's certain things that we reject, like, oh, I can't even imagine, losing myself to an addiction. And this kind of, like disgust, like I would never, who does that? Who would do that? And that kind of energy, it makes us very fragile. Actually, it makes us very fragile to have that kind of relationship with aspects of humanity, that we have to walk this very tight line, and we can't interact with all of the wide variety of what it is to be human, because it upsets us. And what she was saying is, like, looking at addiction, she was like, take a bath every night for 2 weeks, and then don't, and watch how you freak out. Everyone can relate to addiction. We can be addicted to anything. You can get addicted to your chamomile tea, your most innocent thing that you can't live without now. So finding this, that everything exists inside of you. And if you have particular tension around it, if you have particular aversion to it, that's where the goods are. That's where you want to zero in. The thing that you're sure is not you, that's where your goods are. That's where you have energy bound up.